Like, this is fake. This is not the police. I'm Austin.
And I'm Cloud.
And this is We Watch Spookies.
Today's movie is Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th is a 1980 horror mystery thriller slasher film directed by Sean S. Cunningham, starring Betsy Palmer, Adrian King? I'm not sure. Adrian? I don't know. Harry Crosby, Laurie Bantram, Mark Nelson, Janine Taylor, Robbie Morgan, and Kevin Bacon.
Some people get murdered at Camp Crystal Lake. I want to call it Camp Blood, but I'm trying to get the real name. All right. After that, after a series of years of people missing, fire, death, all that kind of stuff, somebody is trying to reopen the camp. And as the young folk get there, the night progresses and people are murdered until it find out it's the mom. But like the son is a ghost thingy that attacks the girl in the boat in the lake in the morning.
I hate that so much. I mean, I know we don't get the rest of the franchise if it's not for that moment, because that's what happened. But it's without that, it's like that's the dumbest thing to happen in the movie. And I think it's overall really damaging, because what seems to have happened is somebody watched Halloween and thought, well, there's some good stuff in here, but there's some stuff that doesn't really work. And so we'll just fix those things and we'll just do it again.
Yeah.
In the woods this time.
Okay.
And because most of the stuff that, like, the problems I had with Halloween are like, well, is he magic or not, or what's happening here? Like the motivation is weird, sort of, and the way that people get killed isn't really that interesting or important, and we kind of don't really care. And the police were no help. And so in this, like, there's no, like, is he magic or what? Because it's not even him, for one thing. And she's not magic or what. So, except, I don't really know, like, there's this one time where there's all this POV stuff, which, if you thought that the POV stuff was a problem in Halloween, here's a whole bunch more stuff that's in POV.
And it's not even scary, because most of it is kind of ridiculous. Like, there is no way this person walked by you and didn't see you.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, that's
like,
is she magic or what? Except for that time where there's no way she could be out of sight. There do seem to be a few times where they actually cheat and use what appears to be the POV camera style when it isn't actually meant to be. And I think that one is just the midpoint of confusion of that, where it could be one or the other, but it has to be the other, because otherwise how did she not see her?
Yeah.
And they don't have to have, like, I know they're going to later, but they don't have to, they're spared he has a mask of some kind for some reason, because, the Leatherface has the other face, and there's the mask that is almost like a Phantom of the Opera kind of thing that wraps around, that we don't really understand where it came from or what the purpose of it is in Halloween. And there's no mask in this, because she just never gets seen by anyone most of the time, even when they die, because, like, it happens from behind a lot or from underneath things, or but even if they do see her, then they're the only ones, and we never do, because we're supposed to think, I don't know what we're supposed to think exactly, because we don't, like, we're not meant to believe that it's actually Jason survived or something and he's living here, because we don't even know that he's important.
Yeah.
it's really hard to tell what's going on in the in like the flashback stuff.
Well, even with that, it's not even really addressed until much later in the film when it's just like, oh yeah, oh my boy, he drowned because young people were supposedly screwing right on the dock.
Yeah.
Like there's kids nearby because the camp is active.
Yeah.
It's like, pull our pants down. We're at the dock. That's good enough.
Well, because
Like,
remember, kids, camp is
what?
for doing it.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it's for. Doing it in the woods.
It is just like really? Like this whole time, like it's not like we were given something like, oh yeah, it's all started when there was this boy and he drowned because the people who were supposed to watching him weren't watching him, and then after that, every year just more people die, or this one place caught on fire. It's the curse.
Well, and I like that. I like the mysteriousness of it, rather than seeing the kid kill the sister and then go off to a hospital for a long time and then escape and is still killing people for we still don't know what reason.
Yeah.
And so I like the not having the answer better, because then we just don't know. Something's killing people. What could it be? And then there's all of the something is watching everyone also. But also it could be that people are just being superstitious and dumb, where sure, some things have happened at the camp from time to time, but it doesn't mean that they're all from the same cause.
Yeah.
So it could just be like we meet what's the guy's name, the crazy guy? Ralph, yeah. We meet Ralph and he's like, "You're gonna die," and
you've got to leave. There's a death curse on this place.
Well, I mean, even before that, when what Becky, right, or something, whatever her name was,
the cook,
the one that never made it,
the cook,
yeah. It's not. I don't know. Maybe it's not Becky.
Sadly, at this point, her name is unimportant because she's
Annie,
because she's dead before she even gets
she's
to
dead.
camp.
Because of the confusing, there are two of these Jeeps exactly the same. One of them belongs to apparently Mrs. Voorhees, and the other one belongs to the guy that owns the camp now.
No, I think it's just because it's too vague. It's just like, oh yeah, bad things happened. Here's like some of it, and like the drowning was never one of them ever mentioned.
No, nobody
like,
even
in the tiniest.
Well, because I guess that's the first one.
Yeah, and so it's like whenever the mom
and
shows
ordinary.
up,
You could
and
drown.
then she's like, it's just like, oh, you're giving this to us out of nowhere, and you just been murdering all these people because now you're crazy. How does no one know about you?
Yeah, does she live at the camp?
Yeah, like that's like there's just too much
she live
weird.
In the woods? But Ralph is like, bad things happen at the camp, and then the truck driver guy is like, you're crazy, Ralph.
Shut up, Ralph.
But then they're driving along in the truck, and he's like, you
need to leave.
So he seems to believe it more than he seems to at first. I feel like he's chopping wood wrong.
Yeah.
He's standing way too close. He has no leverage at all. And see, I know this is a thing that people do, but like, there's like mosquitoes and stuff in the woods.
Yeah.
And everybody's wearing like tiny shorts, and he's chopping wood without a shirt, and it's like, there's like stuff in the woods that'll get you. Like, if you're just exposed like that. Like, I don't want to wear shorts in the woods.
Did they not have bug spray in this time period?
Well, they did, but nobody seems to be using any or anything.
Because I know my ass would be covered in bug spray.
Like, the Boy Scouts at least have pants. Like, they have shorts too for when it's appropriate, but they also have pants. So, I would much rather wear pants in the woods. Sometimes it's just like, hey, look, I'm mostly in my underwear and I have this Indian headdress.
Yeah.
Because we're all just goofballs to greater or lesser extents. Like, he's the most goofball, but they all do kind of silly things. They all play around, and also we have it's not a foreshadowing, but a predecessor to the Sandlot kiss at the pool moment.
Yeah.
Because it's basically that. Like, he pretends to drown so that they'll give him mouth to mouth so that then he can act like a goofball.
I just want to be loved.
It's not
with That's why I'm gonna die.
Well, see, that's something else. Is while there is a fair amount of doing it, the people get killed because they like to do it thing is lessened somewhat from Halloween also, because not everybody does it.
No.
Before they get killed. And they still get, because she's just like going along just killing everyone, because it's not about that. And there's no like, because there's no magic to it, she's just angry and revengey or whatever, that then there's no.
But she specifically says, because you kids are doing it. It's like,
well, yeah, but it's not even necessarily true. So
bash that bitch's head in, please.
She kills Annie. Annie wasn't doing it.
Yeah.
So she wasn't doing anything. She was just walking along trying to get to the camp. Now, I guess you're young, like all these young people and their camp, like if they haven't, they're going to eventually. So either way, they deserve it. So,
but is Annie okay?
No.
Nope.
She's not. She's not okay.
She's dead.
Yeah.
They're dead.
Very graphic death, which is kind of nice. There's like, from these movies that we've been watching, not a lot of gore. And I understand, like, gore does not always equal horror or scary, but
No,
it's
commonly not.
It's like people are being killed, and it's kind of nice to see them actually die, not some kind of, it's off-screen something and others.
Yeah. Now, I mean, we haven't gotten to the room explodes in blood or anything that we'll get to to the first Elm Street movie, but like people get stabbed like through the neck and from behind, and we just see the knife come through, and there's some really good like makeup effects and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Every time people get killed. The one that did bother me a little bit was the it's whoever gets slit across the throat first.
Annie.
Did she? I guess she did. Yeah, because it was outside
daylight.
yeah, and she was outside the car. So she gets slit across the throat, and then there's like 5 seconds, and then the blood starts to come out.
Yeah,
and that seemed kind of weird.
You have to like check your knife, make sure it's actually
like,
cutting properly.
I did actually cut. Oh wait, there's the blood. Okay.
Okay, yeah, there we go.
It did work.
Okay.
So that one was kind of odd, but the other times it's like,
hey, that's pretty good.
like an axe through the like one side of the head, and
death by axe head.
Death by axe head, yeah. Wait, which one got killed with the axe? Was it the main guy that was using the axe, or was it somebody else?
No, okay. So Annie had her throat slit.
Yeah.
Kevin Bacon had
it was through the neck.
Was
from
the
behind.
arrow through the neck? It was the lady he was screwing. She got the axe to the face.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember Funny Man. Oh, we didn't get to see how he died because he went inside the cabin.
Yeah.
He went inside the cabin, and then when we saw his body, he was on the top bunk above Bacon.
Yeah. And I think
so he was already
like
dead.
Dead in some ordinary way. Yeah, we never saw him get killed.
Billy, who was one of the last 3 people, he was shot with arrows, and I'm trying to remember how the other one died.
I can't remember.
Lord, we just watched
I know, it was last night. It's yeah. Well,
mustache guy, he was just stabbed.
I mean, I guess even if they're not like literally doing it, they're doing it related things, like they're playing strip Monopoly, and
you're gonna love my Monopoly. It's so much more fun.
Yeah. Yeah, like, what did she say? You'll like it the way I play it. But and then they have like the old like stubby Budweiser bottles that they don't really make anymore. Like Coors makes them again, but they but like Budweiser just like in the summer they did their what was it called? It was the like red lager or something one. It was the like Veterans Day or Memorial Day or something version. They put it in the little stubby bottles. They got a lot of work to do
Oh yeah.
for like 2 weeks before the camp opens.
Well, okay, so I don't know how long they've been working on the camp. All I know is people are supposed to show up all on one day, and then he's like, okay, well, I gotta leave to pick up this stuff, get this stuff done before it rains, and they're just like, yeah, okay, and then none of it gets done.
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess him, her, and the goofball have been there, I guess, longer. I don't know. Maybe they just got there earlier today before we saw them. Because Kevin Bacon shows up that day. In, like, really strangely, like, they show up and banjo music is playing, which is weird because they're not, like, especially country or anything.
Nope.
So it doesn't seem like their truck kind of is. But you think, like, the way that it happens is just like banjo music fades in and then we see their truck coming from the distance and it's just like these people are so country you hear banjos when you see them coming like that, but then that's not what we get.
That's pretty country.
It's kind of an odd choice.
How much was this movie made for? Or made with?
$550,000 supposedly.
That's pretty cheap.
It made about
I guess
$60 million.
I wonder, like, how many times they were allowed takes. And I say this because
Can't have been much.
Because like you get like 2 takes max. Because whenever they're playing the strip Monopoly and they're rolling dice, none of the dice rolls.
No.
And it's not even like they try to hide them. Where it's like,
no, it's just there on the table.
There. You can just look. It's like if she rolls a 2 and a 1, and she's like, double 6s. I get to roll again.
Yeah.
It's just like,
it's like, okay, I see
what
you.
is
I
this?
see you doing the written dialogue, but that's not what happened. And
Like-
it's and it's really easy to see because we watched this on DVD.
Yeah.
And you can still see it. So it's not like
clear
it's a
as
tiny
day.
detail that no one would ever notice. It's like it's really, really obvious and not hard to see at all. Now it was made independently, and then was bidded over by the various studios and ended up with Paramount getting it in the US and Warner Brothers getting it for Europe. So it wasn't made by a studio. It was made really, really small and independent. This describes it as a bidding war, but that may be oversold a bit. Now, although this being, since it's of similar style and content and of at least fair quality, being that this is only 2 years after Halloween, which was very successful, you can understand the studios being like, we got to get us one of these.
yeah,
Oh, look, someone already made one. Get it. Pay them some money. Get it.
we want it. We want it now. Here, cash.
So-
Thank you.
I don't know how much they paid, but I guess more than the budget, hopefully. And this is also the only one that's directed by the guy that directed this one. The rest of them are all directed by various other people. Although there's like 9 of them or something in the TV series, so there's but there's not even like
10.
Are there 10?
Yeah, I think there's 10.
There might be 10. Is that counting
Freddy and
versus
Jason?
Freddy? Yeah. Okay.
No. Because I think 10 is like Goes to Hell or whatever.
No, Goes to Hell is earlier.
Something like that. There's like
But yeah.
fucking 10 of them.
This is also uncommon for, I guess Halloween was also, but for a lot of these, there are books involved. You know, Exorcist was a book.
Mhm.
Amityville was a book. I think maybe Chainsaw Massacre wasn't a book. There's lots of books.
Yeah.
Even what did we just do? Invasion of the Body Snatchers. That was a book. This is not a book.
No.
This is just a script. This is just a movie. Now there is a book, like a novelization of it, I think, because that's what happened. If you made a movie, it still happens, I guess, but it feels kind of like it's less. I don't know. It may not be less common. It may just be that almost everything's already a book or a comic book or something. Because it would seem weird to be like, and we novelized this comic book movie but it's already comic books. And I know that's not the same, but it would still be weird.
Why would you do that?
Yeah, why would you do that? I don't know that anybody has done that, but
I hope not.
I mean, it's also something there have, of course, been Friday the 13th comic books as well. There's been all manner of media because it's been around for a long time now and was quite popular. So, and I guess still is popular.
All right, so these characters. Oh my.
Well, I don't really want any of them to die this time, at least.
Yeah, like none of them
time.
are outright like this person is dumb, except when it comes to the snake, and everybody wants to stick their face under the bed where the snake is at, and I'm just like, all right. First, let's take a step back. I'm gonna take a step back. All right, the blonde-haired lady that we meet at the beginning with the mustache guy. What was her name?
Let me see. Was that Marcy, maybe? No.
Our sole survivor. She's our sole survivor.
Alice.
Okay. I'm having flashbacks of Resident Evil. All right, so.
Yeah.
What does she have to straighten out in Cali?
I don't know.
Cause what kind of line is that? Like, one, I'm not exactly sure where Camp Crystal Lake is supposed to be, and then it's just like, well, I don't know. I'll stay till Friday, but I might have to go back to California to straighten something out. Like, okay,
I think there's probably nothing. I think it's bogus.
Yeah,
I think it's like
no.
Like I think I might have left the stove on or something. It's just like, I'm not sure if I want to do this anymore. This camp is kind of junk, and we're out in the woods and stuff. And so, yeah, I've got this thing in California. It turns out it's important. So.
And it's like that. It's just like, okay. So we understand she doesn't really want to be there, but I don't know if it's so much that she don't want to be there or she doesn't want to be around him.
Yeah, because their relationship is odd too. Because he's.
It's like he wants a relationship, and she's like,
yeah,
no.
They don't really have one. And when he's helping her with the gutter, there's some weird looks, and he goes to touch her, and she's like, "What are you doing?"
Did you draw this? When did you have time?
Yeah,
like I'm kind of an artist.
Oh yeah, so she's been there at least more than one day because he says last night.
Exactly. And so it's like okay. We have her, and she seems to have her head on her shoulders. Seems. And some of the other young people show up, and then there's just a snake just on the floor inside near the stove or wherever that was supposed to be. I don't remember. And then they panic, and I can understand that. You're inside a shelter of some kind. Bam, there's a snake. You don't know what kind it is. Could be a cottonmouth. It is black after all. You know, we don't know. These kids don't seem to be educated in the wilderness.
No.
So that's fine. You panic, people show up, and then they all just kind of cluster. It's like, hey, we all have to look at the snake. Can we pet it, please? Stop. It's like one guy's got a shovel, one guy's got a machete, and I'm like, how is it taking you this long to get the snake? It shouldn't. Don't stick your face under the bed with a snake. Don't do it. And that's exactly what they like. Kevin Bacon and then the other ladies, we got to put our. Why?
Yeah.
Are you going to catch the snake with your face? Stop it.
Yeah. Well, she's not very helpful to start with because she's like, it's over there. And she just points and everybody kind of looks at the entire other side of the room. And it's like, no, it's under the dresser. Like, that's where it was. I mean, maybe it's not now, but that's where you saw it go.
Specifics.
So please. As far as you know, it's not over there. It's over there under the dresser. It's under the dresser. Because it's a snake. Like, you want to, like, snakes are a precise business.
Yes, very precise. And so it's like, it's that kind of contradiction where they're coming down the mountain as they come, listening to banjo music. I don't know how to deal with a snake.
No.
So I'm getting mixed feelings. It's an interesting scene, but I get mixed feelings. How did Ralph get inside the
yeah, how long was he just hanging out there? Was he just going to sit in the pantry until someone happened along to open it?
And Ralph's married.
Yeah.
Ralph, like, we didn't know it, but, like, later on, the police are like, Ralph's wife was just worried, and we had to get him back home to her. And I'm like, I think other people are worried that he's not home because he's not home. He is fucking
No.
creepy.
He's not. Yeah.
Just open up the pantry. I just want some Oh God, here's this man. You have to leave. Just close the door on him. Don't need that sugar. I'll drink my coffee straight. Thank you.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
Yeah. He does. He does. He does kind of creep around. Which the police. So the police show up
the police show up.
the first time. The police
first
show
time.
up on
Riding
the
a motorcycle.
cheapest, lamest looking like fake police. Like I thought it was fake. Like this guy is the killer
Yes.
because that does not look like a real. Like you got like. I mean, he does have the flashing lights on the front, the two like alternating red lights. But then he has like a bumper sticker level of quality sticker that goes on each like saddlebag that says police. It's like, this is fake. This is not the police.
Well, if anything, get somebody who can ride a motorcycle.
Yeah, right. A
Because,
motorcycle. I mean, it's not an off-road motorcycle. He's riding
that's
it on
fine.
dirt. He's slipping around.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, even if you are riding on dirt, like, it's like he's like, okay, so whenever we're gonna do this take, and I want you to try to leave as quickly as possible,
Yeah.
and he's trying just gunning it constantly, and you can just see him like sliding like to the side every time he does. I'm like, come on, please. I'm not saying go out and hire a professional.
Well,
All
we can't
I'm-
afford them, but
All I'm saying is turn to your crew and go, hey, does anyone know how to ride a motorcycle who can like pretend to be a police officer for like 10 minutes?
I mean, we don't know that didn't happen. Let me see who this guy is. If there's a credit for this guy, I don't know what his name is.
I don't know. I could just be talking
Officer Dorf.
mad trash.
Officer Dorf is played by Ron Milkey, who is best known for playing Officer Dorf. He has been in a few other movies too, though. So he's like he is an actor. But yeah, he can't. I don't think let's see, other movies can. It doesn't look offhand like any of these probably have a motorcycle in them. Although there's one that he plays a character called Officer Peters, which also sounds like police, in a 2006 movie called Satan's Playground. So who knows what happens in Satan's Playground?
Oh boy, add that one to the watch list.
Yeah, I don't know.
They better have a swing set.
Well, it has a door knocker on the poster art. It's kind of a like ram horn thing with the like ring through its nose. Satan's Playground is a chiller. A chiller? That's not a genre. We watched Chiller.
It's almost a refrigerator.
Satan's
just a
Playground is a
chiller.
chiller with a vacationing family lost in the woods and the Jersey Devil lurking in the Pine Barrens. Okay, so it's a Jersey Devil movie.
It's a terrible title. All right, so we have the rest of our young people. We have the rest of our young people. And we have Kevin Bacon, who is the first of a slew of young actors who are soon to be famous, killed by slasher character in horror movie.
Yeah,
Because we get Kevin Bacon in this one, and we get like Johnny Depp in Nightmare.
yeah.
And they're both pretty cool scenes. So hey, that's a positive. Okay, so after they're done doing it,
Uh-huh.
and she's gonna go to the bathroom, like, okay, that's fine. Like, she's in her underwear. It's still kind of daylight out, you know. It's not too dark yet. And that's fine. What gets me is like later in the movie when everybody's running around in their underwear and it's raining, and it's like, you could just put some pants on. Like, you just go into the other house, like where there's like the showers and the toilets. But like, seriously, it's raining. It's going to be cold. Just put some pants on or something.
Well, they put the raincoats on.
Yeah, the raincoats aren't like super huge ponchos or something that's keeping them completely dry. They're still gonna get wet,
but,
and they're
like,
still
if they're
gonna
get
cold.
wet, then why are you gonna get your pants wet? I don't see any way to do laundry out there. Although it seems like there better be,
Yeah,
camp and stuff happening. Kids.
and then like Bill goes to check the generator after the generator shuts off,
Yeah.
and he says it's out of gas, which is interesting because later like the mom just turns it back on like it's nothing, and we don't see him.
Well, he says it might be out of gas, but then he checks it with the stick and it's not, and then he gets killed.
Yeah, but we don't see him like say it doesn't have gas in it, or say it does have gas. It's like we see him with the stick, and then it cuts, and then he's dead.
Yeah.
Because that's when Alice wakes up from the scream mare thingy, and then she's like, "Oh, that's right, the power's out." And then she goes checks on him, and he's just been harpoon/arrowed to the outside door. How did she do that?
I don't know.
It's not like she's Magic Jason who can just lift a dude up and then just start stabbing arrows into him, so he's hung by the door. So like, what is this?
I don't know. Now she does get some credit for like trying the faucet. It doesn't work, and she knows enough to be like, I wonder if the valve's on.
Yes.
And she like checks the valve, and it's not on, and she turns it on, and then it works.
Yes.
So, although then I was concerned later that the other girl was like, she tries a different sink and it doesn't come on, and I thought she's just gonna be like, oh, there's no water, because it takes her a very long time to like try the next sink over.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, no, the next one works. Like, try the other sink. There's like 4 sinks. Like, just try another sink.
You know, at least it's not like we used a toilet and found the toilet wouldn't flush.
Yeah.
That would be terrible.
I mean, it could be the same problem.
Yeah, it
actually,
could
it
be.
still could be just the valve is off because the camp is. I don't know how, like, they say that the electrical, like it's unreliable, the electric lines.
But like the water lines, top shit.
Yeah, because this thing has been out of service for years, and it's already out in the woods anyway. So how good could it have been?
Sorry, there's rust in those pipes.
There's rust in the there's probably lead in the pipes.
Get your
something.
shots.
Yeah, get your shots. You can't get shots for lead though.
You can get shot with lead though.
You can get shot with lead. Yeah. No guns.
No,
in the movie.
There was guns, but no
Oh right,
ammo.
yeah. He has the rifle. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Because
There's
like,
no ammo.
okay. It looks like he's got like a ton of rifles. Like it looks like it's just like a wall of rifles, and she just runs up and grabs one of them, and it's like there's no ammo, so she starts digging in his drawer, and then there's just like chains and latches on just half of the drawers on the desk, and it's just like,
well, because you want to keep the kids safe.
yeah,
You want to keep the ammo locked up. Because it's not for like protection; it's for like shooting practice. Because it's like that used to be. I doubt they do it at camp anymore. But you shoot archery, and then you also shoot rifles. They're probably 22 caliber or something. They're small. It's fine. But
well, I'm a pretty good shot with 22.
Yeah, I mean, you
Ping,
can shoot a deer with a 22 if you hit it in the right spot. It's fine.
Please don't though.
Yeah, please don't.
Yeah.
But you could.
30-06, 243, 308.
Almost ran over a rabbit today. It was like sitting on one side of the street, and it was just sitting there. And then like I start to drive across, and it's like looks back and forth and just goes just across the road, and just almost didn't make it. And I would have been really upset if I'd killed a rabbit when I like didn't mean to.
Silly rabbit.
So,
Trucks.
but it was like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Like, what's a rabbit doing just like hanging out in the front yard of a house? Like, doesn't it have something else to do than just be out in public?
I don't even know how to answer that.
Well, I don't either. That's why I asked.
All right. Well, on questions that can't be answered, why is there a latch on the inside of the pantry?
I don't know.
It's not like it's a double-sided latch where you could just latch from any side or something. It's just like, nope, I want to be inside the pantry, and I want to just lock myself in to the pantry with no way out.
Because just in case
of the pantry.
I don't know.
Why the inside? Like, you'd think that it'd have one on the outside so you could throw someone in the pantry and lock them in. Like extreme timeout.
That's not what pantries are for. But
give them a bucket and there's food in the pantry. And
yeah. I mean, they do that with the freezer in The Shining.
yeah.
The refrigerator. I'm not sure which.
I want to know about the mom driving Mustache Man's Jeep. Because now
I don't think it is his Jeep,
well, see,
though.
the
He's
reason-
in town. He's got a trailer.
The reason I think is because I could have swore there was a trailer on it.
No, there's not.
Like, I could have swore, like, as she was coming down, there was a trailer, and I'm like, oh, someone took his because being stuck in the mud stalled his engine out.
Well, no, but that's way later.
No, earlier.
But I mean, he's not stuck in the mud until later. So
Yeah.
he
Okay, so he leaves, he gets trailer, he comes back, it's raining, he gets stuck, he gets into police officer vehicle, and then police drives him really close, but then the police has to leave, so he walks the rest of the way, and that's when he's murdered. And we know that the mom has a Jeep that's like the same, but whenever the Alice goes outside or sees that the Jeep pulls up, I could have swore there was a trailer behind it, because I was thinking, oh, I wonder if after he said person kills Mustache Man, they took that Jeep too. And then, it's like it was close by, and maybe there was more than one person or something like that. And then it's just like, oh no, it's the mom, and the mom has the Jeep. And then manages to put a dead body in the Jeep very quickly.
Yeah.
Dead bodies are heavy.
They are heavy. I mean, people are heavy.
Like, how many times does she have to get, like, hit in the head? Because I'm not saying, like, one hit and you're done for, but it's like, she had a cast iron skillet and just smacked her in the head. And then she was bleeding. And then it's like, oh, that's enough. And then goes off, and it's like, no, it's not. I'm going to hit you again. And, like, this time it's like she was resistant to the hit.
Yeah. And
then it's like, oh, but I'm going to grab the machete and just decapitation. Just like, I'm just going to summon all of my strength, and then it's going to be it's actually a really cool scene. She just cuts the head right off, and it's just meat.
Yeah.
And like the spine bone just right there.
Which I'm not sure you could do, or she could do. I feel like it's not that easy to cut a head off.
No.
But yeah, and it's in like slow motion and stuff. But yeah, which is probably like, except for, well, actually no, maybe still. If not, it's probably tied with something in Final Destination. Like, it's probably the most like graphically violent thing that we've had.
Yeah.
So far. I guess there's like the axe to the head is pretty serious, but
yeah, but it's not so much bloody or anything. It's just like we turn, or the axe is shown swinging, and then it's just like already in her head.
Yeah. We see the head come off.
Yeah.
With the machete. So.
I don't know. There's a lot of really good scenes in this movie, and even the story is kind of meh. I don't know. It's like,
I don't understand what you just said, because you seem to have equated two things that you said were not similar. Because you said there's a lot of good scenes.
Like the scenes themselves are good.
Uh-huh.
Like, if you were just to break a scene down, I'm like, hey, I like that scene. Like, that scene seems to work.
Okay, so you just need an although in there.
Yeah.
Like, there's some good scenes, although the story is kind of
bland. Yeah, it's kind of like bleh. It's like nothing super special. Like, there's nothing about the characters that make me outright like or dislike them. They're just there. I like the blood that doesn't seem to exist ish, but it's really slow. Like, hey, we gotta have a little bit of gore, so we're gonna put an arrow through the neck. Like, all those little effects. Yeah, from the makeup team are good. What is this? Going back into my notes. And the only thing that really got me was the very last scene. It's the only thing I just outright didn't like in the movie.
No, I hate it.
And
I think it like fundamentally destroys
I'm not
the
talking
quality of the
about
movie.
the dude coming out of the lake and grabbing her.
Well, it's that, and that he's still out there is bad.
The hospital scene. That is complete shit. And it pisses me off because it ruins everything else in the movie. Like, 'cause I can understand the mom's crazy, but why is the mom crazy? She might be doing these killings, but that doesn't negate the existence of Jason as some entity. They're two.
Well, if things are normal, it does, because he was just a little kid that drowned in the lake, and then his mom got angry and has been causing everything since then.
But that's if you're under the presumption that things are normal.
Well,
It could be anything, and that's why I'm saying that it is fine.
But
for
if the other movies don't exist yet, then that's all that we know.
Yeah.
That this is normal and like the mom is crazy. There's no like any indication of supernaturalness except for that scene, which actually isn't even real.
Well, see, that's no.
Maybe.
See, that's the thing. That is the thing. Is that's what the hospital scene murders the movie for. Because you could have had it where Jason was some kind of zombie ghost, something or another, and when he grabs her, that's where you cut the movie. It's done. It's like, oh, everybody at the camp died. Yeah, the police is there, but they're not going to find any bodies because weird zombie magic kid shit. Whatever. But the dialogue from the police officers make no sense. Because I can understand she is at the, she's on the lake. She is in the canoe on the lake. We see the two police officers see her and call for her. That's when she starts waking up.
Yeah.
And that's when the Jason dude grabs her and pulls her in. But she wakes up in the hospital. All right. When he says they had to fish her out of they had to pull her out of the lake, that makes it sound like she's actually in the water, not in the boat.
Yeah.
So, like, that right there, it's like, okay, well, maybe that's just weird wording.
I think it is.
But it's shit wording. And then it's like, but what about the kid? Nothing is explained when we found you, you were just half awake in the canoe or something. Like, it's just like...
No, they said we didn't find... There was no kid.
There's no kid. Like, at this point, they don't know anything other than she was in the boat. So anything she says... How are they going to already have an answer to that? It's like, oh yeah, there was a kid, but he disappeared and we couldn't find him. Like, how would they even know that?
Uh-huh.
Like, it's just everything
But
dialogue-wise.
also, he didn't seem like a kid.
Yeah, everything dialogue-wise in that scene was just terrible and hurt the movie.
He wasn't kid-sized, really. So now
you can have I don't know. He kind of looked like there was like deformations.
Well, he's supposed to be like decomposing or something from being in the water. So what happened with that apparently is that wasn't written originally. It was just supposed to end with her floating in the boat, and then the police arrive. But then the guy that did all like the prosthetic makeup had just seen Carrie, and in the end of Carrie, there's sort of like you think everything is okay, but then like the final moment is like nope, and it makes you jump. And which actually, if that's still the case, that makes it ends right there, and we don't have the hospital scene. Still makes sense. But so then they added that after, just so that they could get an extra like make you jump scare.
Yeah.
So it's a cheat. It's a kind of a cheat anyway, because you don't need it. You didn't need to give people one last jump. It was fine the way it was. You've scared people plenty by now. You didn't really need it. And it's not because they wanted to make any more of these with that character. Because this was another case. Like, what happened with Halloween was they made the first one, and then I think, what, is the second one normal, or is it the third one? Is it the third one that's weird?
I don't know. I don't really remember too much of the Halloween movies.
Let me see what the... Yeah, 3. Okay. So they made the first two, but that was just because like the first one was popular and they didn't have any other idea yet. But then what the idea was it was going to be sort of an anthology series where then just other scary stuff happens. Kind of like what they're doing now with the Cloverfield universe, where they're not really connected. It's just like weird stuff happens in these movies.
Yeah.
And so then that's why 3 is Season of the Witch, which has nothing to do with any of the movies on either side of it, because then people were like, what is this? And so then they dropped that idea and went back to Michael. But that was the idea. And that was the idea with Friday the 13th too, that if they thought they were going to make any more, and what they thought they were going to do, until people reacted to be like, oh wait, Jason, because he's in that little moment at the end there, it was just going to be, because you had the Friday the 13th as the premise, it was just going to be a series of things relating to like scary superstitions and stuff surrounding Friday the 13th thing, which you have in there already because the cop is talking about how it's a full moon and weird stuff happens on the full moon and it's Friday the 13th, so you already have mentions of multiple superstitions. So they were going the same direction, or they had intended to go the same direction as that, and then people were like, no, we want to see Jason, and so then that's what the series became. So it wasn't intended. In sort of the same way, like the end of the first Back to the Future was not meant to lead directly into a second one because they didn't know they were going to make a second one, and then they were just kind of stuck with it. So then they had to write around it and create the other two out of it. But it was just like it was there as a joke, kind of. Like, what if we have Doc come back and he's like, the kids in the future, and then there's like you just never find out what he was talking about. Like that was what it was meant for. And that's really what this was meant for too, is just like, up, made you jump. And there was no more like story thought behind it because it wasn't written as part of the story.
Would have been perfectly fine.
But I mean, yeah, like I really wish it wasn't there because otherwise it's much less like now you have, it takes away the turn in a way, because what you have before that is, oh, you think it's something and then, oh, it turns out it's just this kid's mom and she's angry and crazy, which also makes it not what you expected at all in a general way, but also even though we don't really have the slasher thing super established yet, if we're just looking at Leatherface and Michael Myers, then they're all dudes. And so then suddenly like, oh wait, it's not a dude. Like you think it's a dude, but it's not a dude. And so then it turns out, oh, actually the dude still exists too, and then that's who we're gonna have past this point. And so I don't like that it's there. And even though I know that we don't have the rest of the series without it. But this is basically a Friday the 13th movie that doesn't have like you don't have the hockey mask, you don't have Jason at all, except for that little moment at the end, and he doesn't ever really look like that again. So it makes this one kind of like different and special in a way that the rest of them sort of genericized. And in a way kind of makes it magic when it wasn't up till that point. And so we're not sure if Michael Myers is magic, although he must be because he's doing things that he shouldn't be able to do, even though there's no explanation for why he's magic. And then Freddy is already dead and is like haunting people after the fact, so that's supernatural. But then it didn't have to be that way here, but then it turns out it is. It's kind of a shame.
Yeah.
And the look almost to camera where she says he's still out there is just like is the worst thing about any of it. It's just it's so bad.
Insert vomiting sound effects.
So how do you feel about stars?
I don't know. I'm kind of caught between wanting to give this. No. I know it's going to be a good, strong 3 stars. Because like I would have given it 4.
It would have been more if it wasn't for that end
hospital scene. Oh my god, ruined it. Because if she doesn't show up in any of the other movies, then it's still even pointless.
She does for a little bit in one of them, but not as like a super big deal. It's hard because there's good stuff in most of the rest of it, but it's just so damaged by the end.
If it wasn't for that, I would have only given it a 4 anyways.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it wouldn't be higher than that, but I guess it has. I almost want to bump it lower because I hate it so much what happens at the end. Because like I hate he comes out of the water part too, like not just the hospital. Like I hate both of them, and so it's a bad time. That's probably not fair though, because I did enjoy most of the rest of it way more than that. So I guess I'll have to say 3 also.
Reluctantly.
Yeah. It wouldn't be fair. You could just like watch it and just like stop it before that.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't actually have any consequence, really. Especially if you're watching it in isolation and you don't need to know how we get from one movie to the next one. If you just watch this, like, just stop at the lake part. Like, that's fine. It'll be fine. What about scariness?
I'll give it 4 out of scariness. Because, like, I won't say I was scared at any particular scene, but the tension rising and being held high, I think did pretty good in some of the scenes, especially with like the ladies going to the outhouse building, and then it's just like you know he's like right, she whatever, right behind like the curtain, and it kind of moves a little bit. You might see like the hand touching something, and it's just like, oh, is it gonna happen? Oh, maybe not. Okay, it's just gas. Being on the toilet sounds. I'm just trying to be funny.
Trying. Yeah. There's not, I mean, generally, I think the slasher movies aren't really that scary.
No.
Because it's mostly just like, let's watch a bunch of people get killed.
Yeah.
Just kind of what the Final Destination movies are too. Mostly they're not scary. They're just like, oh no, something terrible is about to happen that I'm going to have to like watch happen to this person. And so you're like, eee. But it's not really like, I can't, it's scary. I can't. It's not like that. So, I think I'll say 3. I think I will. Yeah. So. Not that scary, but it's not what that really was for. That doesn't mean it's not like decent though, except for the end.
Yeah.
Because it can be a not that scary horror movie or allegedly horror movie and still be good.
Yeah.
For other reasons.
Other reasons,
yeah. A little bit of Psycho reference there, maybe.
Yeah. I just think of like someone in the shower and like you hear that the hand comes in, it's got like a back scratcher or like the backwash thing.
Somebody must have, like Family Guy or somebody must have
I think
done
Family
that.
Guy did that, and I'm just like, okay, I think that's the thing.
That's all we have to say about Friday the 13th. We'll see you next time.
Later.